Okay, guys, so this is a part 2. That's cool. Okay. So, yeah, what we were talking about was getting those demons out of you, okay? And I was talking about what Prophetess Tiffany Montgomery was talking about as far as Moloch, okay? And so when we do different things, and different things happen, okay, you make contracts with the Undertaker, if you will, okay? That's what we're going to call him, the Undertaker, all right? And so that's why the Lord said sin is sin, okay? We're not any better than anybody. We're not any better than anyone out here, because they could just not know. Right? That's why we all have grace and mercy following us. We all want grace, but we don't know what comes with grace. Okay? So what I was saying was that when you keep things private, okay? When you keep things private, this is what happens. Things grow. Right? They grow. And that's how the Undertaker likes to deal with things. Okay? He doesn't want you to reveal. Because once things are revealed, usually after that, shame kind of follows. If you're doing things properly and everything is kind of like no one knows about it, okay, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to feel shame because nobody knows about it. But once people start to know, oh, you sleep with other people's husbands. Oh, that's what you do? If everybody knew that, like that book called The Scarlet Letter, okay, and that woman had to walk around with an A on her chest forever. That was public humiliation. And so when you are public humiliated, you tend to want to stop in your tracks and stop doing that. But if you were not publicly humiliated, you would continue to do that. And that's why it's always good for things to have happened the way they have. Even though, whether it's happened or not, whether it's true, whether it's alleged, whatever, we weren't there. But the point is, it stops that type of treatment in its tracks and it doesn't go on anymore. Okay? So we should want and hope, first of all, for Cassie to get healed and delivered from whatever's going on with her, because I'm sure some other things that happened, some things that she had to do that she will have to live with for the rest of her life. At least that's what man tells us, right? But when we repent and when we ask for forgiveness, we are told to go forth and do it no more. We can be saved from that. Hello? Okay? And you don't have to carry the guilt, because that's another way that the enemy gets us. The guilt itself causes us to not be able to be our true, authentic beings and how God wants us to be. Because some people feel like, oh, well, none of us are in a position to judge, or none of us are in a position to say and tell other people what to do. Yes, we are. If God puts us in a position to tell people to start living right, that's what you have to do. You have to start living right. Stop supporting this type of treatment. When you support a person to mistreat you, you have basically signed on for whatever happens. You guys get what I'm saying? So if you're in a relationship and the person is mistreating you, they're cheating on you, they're physically mistreating you, they're doing things like that, and you stand there and you say nothing, or you continuously allow it to happen, you have just signed on for whatever happens. Am I saying that, it's not unfortunate? Am I saying that it's your fault? No. But I am saying that you're not looking at what, God gave us eyes and discernment for a reason. And so I always feel like there are signs that are given to us where we don't have to be completely thrown in the abyss before we see it. Because once you're thrown in the abyss of it, it's tough to get out. Right? You know how they say, I didn't sign on for this. Yeah, one of those things. If you allow somebody to call you out your name, then it usually is going to grow from there. If you say, look, don't talk to me that way. You're not going to talk to me in that manner. I don't like your tone. We're not going to do this. You don't want me to talk to you like that, so don't talk to me like that. Oh, if you like that, oh no, the person who is a controlling, a person who is an abuser of people, they're not going to want to be with you because you're not dealing with it in its infancy. You're not even allowing it to take flight at all. But if you say, oh, he had a bad day or she had a bad day, or you just allow it to keep going and festering, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because those stories, if those stories and that whole 35-page letter that she 35-page lawsuit, that was a lot. That wasn't one time. That wasn't over one day. That was over 10 plus years, maybe 5 plus years. I'll say that. Honey, she should have been got out. We all have choices. We're taught about right and wrong as children, aren't we? You know that's not right. Somebody tell you to go in a room full of people. You come on now, just like that scene in what is it in Players Club. She said, "Hey, I'm just here to dance and that's it." Remember she said that? Oh, yeah. It was too late. You get what I'm saying? She didn't even get to dance with nobody because somebody came in the room and that was a very, very horrible scene. Don't even like that part of that movie. That movie was raw. Players Club. They had Bernie Mac in there for the comic relief, but that darn thing was terrible, and it was putting it into the eyes of us. I didn't even like how Ice Cube acted in that. Now I'm older and I can actually watch movies and actually comment on them and say, you know what, this was not good television for us as a people. You know what I mean? So yeah, you totally agree. Awesome. You know, this is just how I feel. And some people may think I'm victim blaming and shaming. No, I'm saying we know the difference between right and wrong. You know how somebody's supposed to treat you. You know nobody's supposed to put their hands on you. You know that. You taught that as a little girl. Somebody put their hands on you. If somebody hit you back. Hit them back. I was taught that at 8 years old. So, because there's money on the line, give somebody the right to treat you any kind of way? The answer would be no. But the money and what you do with money is the root to negative things. Yes, it is, if you allow it to be. Money is needed. One thing people have to understand when people say, oh, money is the root to all negative things. God wants us to be prosperous. He wants us to live abundantly. He knows darn well if his daughter, which is me and you, daughter or son, whoever's watching, and they ain't got enough money to put their lights on, and they ain't got enough money to have their cell phone, then how the heck are you going to go out and speak the word? They don't have their health and they don't have their mental health. How the heck are you supposed to speak the word? He wants us to be well off mentally, spiritually, and physically. That's just what he wants us to be. So it's nothing wrong with having money. But like you said, ma'am, it is the love of money. We're not supposed to put anything above him. And I used to, I knew about that, idols and, casts and all that, all that was talked about in Genesis and things like that. But honey, sometimes our jobs becomes our gods. Our children becomes our gods. Our partners become our gods. Our finances becomes our God. The fact that you feel like your bills aren't going to be met. There's a story in the Bible. That's why God I wouldn't be able to talk like this if God did not tell me to start reading the word. And he told me this for years. through different people and I didn't listen because it wasn't time. But sometimes we listen, but we just don't do, because that's about planting seeds, right? And things like that. But there was a story in the Bible. What was I saying? What was I saying, babe? You see, my husband don't even listen to me. That's sad. Oh, thank you. So it was a story, I think in Leviticus. I don't know. That the people that was, because it's Exodus and then there's a Leviticus. So Moses had helped to get the people out of Egypt, right? I think it was. And God put them in the desert somewhere or something. And he met all their needs, right? He would, every morning they would wake up, it would be bread and everything, or manna on the ground. And he said, do not save it. He said, don't save it. They started saving it. And guess what happened when they saved it? It went bad. The next day they couldn't even eat it. It was spoiled. I say that because people will do some crazy things because you feel like, oh, I don't know, I don't got enough money. Oh, hasn't he been paying your bills forever? Are you homeless, ma'am? Are you not eating? Is there not food in your refrigerator? Even in times when you felt like you didn't have enough? Don't you always have? Who you think is providing that? God. You don't have to go out there and sleep with different people. You don't have to, oh, I did this for my kids. No, you did this for yourself because your kids did not tell you or ask you to go out there and give yourself up for some change. Your kids did not tell you to go and steal from people, including yourself. Your children did not tell you to go out there on anybody's pole and swing around. You did that. They didn't ask you to do that. So that's the problem with money. It's for you to be able to provide for yourself, but it's not, that's it. It's not your God. You have to understand, no matter how much money you got or necessarily don't have, God got your back at all times. And so he doesn't want us to lose focus on that. You know, I don't know who that's for, but when you start to love this materialistic stuff on this earth, you'll lose every time. People think they all that when they have a whole bunch of people watching them and they have huge following and all that. I'm not saying that's not good, but I think the thing about it is people don't understand that the enemy knows what you want too. Right? I can just imagine the mindsets of all these young ladies who went out and they, you know, there's a saying, or there's a verse in BBD's song. He said, backstage under, you know what? Adolescent. Somebody pointed that out a few days ago, and I was like, oh my gosh. This has been talked about for years. And he was like, I just don't know what to do. They get caught up. They get caught up in fame. Let's talk about the other side, shall we? We always talk about the young women who go after the stars, right? But what about the guys, right? What about the rock stars who actually have to also know how to make choices, and it doesn't matter what's being thrown at them. They're not supposed to take it. They have to be strong because some of these people who go after them, they lie. They try to tempt them with what they have on or the lack thereof. They got that good gift of gab. See, the devil knows what we want too. That's why I always tell myself when I make these videos, I say, you know what? All I need to do is get to one person. I'm not getting on here to build, and I've been doing this for so long, and I'm like, Lord, you giving me what I need. Because sometimes what you need and what you want are not in the same realm. I want my needs and I want my wants to be aligned and evenly yoked with what God wants me to be. Say that to yourself right now. I want my needs and I want what I want to be aligned, evenly yoked with what God wants me to do. Because you need food and water. You need shelter. You need clothes. You want that big house. You want those several cars. You want the fame. You don't need that. And sometimes what we want and what we need are in two different masters' realms. And so you have to say, who today shall I serve, just based on what you want. I can't take the credit of that, y'all. God gave me that word. Because it's just so simple, just like that. Did you get that, babe?
Yes.
What was said? I want to make sure you got that.
God gives you what you need. Sometimes not necessarily what you want. But the other side tries to tempt you with what he thinks you want.
Right. He said he will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. He never said he would supply all your wants, because your wants sometimes may not align with what he wants your purpose to be. I don't have to have 1,000 people watching me. And the people who have 1,000 people watching them very rarely appreciates it. And it's a lot of responsibility, which much is given, much is required. It's one of those things. So I don't need that. I verbally said it so anybody can hear it. I don't need that, nor do I want that. I want to get to the people who wants to know better, and the ones who know better as well. You notice I said I want to get to people who wants to know better, because the people who don't want to know better and they hear this type of message, they want to fight you. And at this point in my life and in the level that I'm in, I'm not able to handle that, and God knows that. I'm not able to handle the people who don't want to listen. I only want to get to the people who do want to listen, who wants to aspire to be better in God, and who already knows, because I need both. You need both. You need those things. So I understood that a long time ago. I was basically blessed to be taught to not seek the things of the flesh. Basically, that's what I'm talking about. That's what this whole situation is about with this Cassie thing and all the other women and all other stars that have gone through this. This is literally a battle, a spiritual battle of the flesh. The flesh wants money. The flesh wants fame. The flesh wants to have, abilities to sleep with a whole bunch of people. Every time you get into a bedroom with somebody, you are spiritually connected, soul ties. That's it. That's your wife. It says in the Bible back in the day, men, if you have relations with a woman, that's your wife. Things like that, man, we don't live by anymore. We don't honor that at all. It's, everything is kind of corrupt. I'm like, well, what can we do in this corruption? You know what a lot of us are doing? We're going down with the ship. That's what we're doing. By standing there and saying it's okay. By not standing up and saying this is not right. By not spreading the news, the good news. We're not doing that. And that's what I feel like we're supposed to do. And so that's what I do with my videos. I said, this is it. I used to talk about wellness. That was all about the flesh. But that's where it started. I was talking about wellness. Now I'm talking about the spiritual wellness now. Because spiritual wellness drives this whole being every day. If we're not spiritually connected, we will make some horrible decisions. Horrible decisions on who we hang around. Horrible decisions on jobs that we take. Horrible decisions on the food that we eat. All about spiritual. If you knew that, hey, you're not supposed to eat certain things, nor are we supposed to make people feel bad. But there's certain things that you're just not supposed to eat. Pork, it says it in the word. Muslims even love that part of the Bible. You ain't supposed to eat pork. And what does it do? Swell you up? Give you high blood pressure? Make you look like a porky pig? It's a dirty, filthy animal, guys. Do your research on the pig. It's just not supposed to be eaten. Doesn't matter how much you cook it, it still has parasites. God, he set it up. He said what we're supposed to eat. And so when you eating those things, and not saying I'm not tempted to sometimes eat some seafood. Oh, I swear I ate some seafood a few months ago, and I said, you know what, God? I know I'm not supposed to eat it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because we all fall short, right? Just to let you know, a few days later, dog, snoring over there. Babe. What? That was you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're not supposed to be doing certain things. And once you know, you have to what? Go forth and act like you know. You can't keep acting like you don't know after you've heard it. Okay? I don't know who that's for. So yeah, get into your spiritual wellness. If you are into your spiritual wellness and if you read the word, you will not put up with certain things. You just won't. You will not. You would not basically mess with somebody just because of their money and their fame. That's the last thing you want to do. Then you wouldn't be in these situations, and that's it. So ultimately, do I feel sorry for people who are in those type of situations? I'm going to honestly say no. Am I wrong, babe? Correct me if I'm wrong. Babe?
Yeah, I'm still thinking on that one.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys, for feeling that? Not feeling sorry.
Comes into my mind.
Uh-huh.
Is good tree produces good fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Bad tree produces bad fruit. Bad trees cannot produce good fruit.
No, what I'm asking is, if somebody goes after someone because they have money and they bite off more than they can chew, should you feel sorry for the aftermath of that? Should you feel sorry for him? No. You pray for your enemies, but I'm asking you a question. Okay, I'll ask you a different question. Do you feel like that was their choice?
Yeah.
Now, he's right. We're supposed to pray for your enemies because we all fall short. But if somebody tells you to go in a room and it's a group of people, aren't you supposed to say no? Case in point. Somebody said it depends on their true feelings about that person. Oh, I get what you're saying. Because if I was really just talking about the person who just basically monetarily went after this person. I wasn't talking about the person who fell in love with that person and didn't know about it, and then all of a sudden they were in it and it was too deep. Right?
Yeah.
Case in point, right? I went to college years ago. And it was this lady named Sarah. That was her name. Her name was Sarah. And she came to college and she had, this is how I remember, she wore skirts all the way down to her ankles. She walked around campus with a Bible. She was just as innocent as snow, at least that's what we felt, right? Within one semester, which is about 3 months, Sarah started wearing booty shorts. just know that Sarah, she turned into Shantae. That's all I can say. And so it was a rumor going around in the campus that she had gone to this party and some guys, took advantage of her, whatever. And I was like in my 20s. I was like, I didn't feel sorry for her. I was like, this girl knew what the heck she was doing. She had the Bible in her hand, right? She knew better. But the thing about it is, I think what happened was her parents kept her in church. Her parents probably tried to tell her, basically more taught her on how to look like she's godly on the outside, but they completely did not deal with her internal space. Honey, she loved men. She went to parties. She went in rooms with guys, and stuff went down. I think what happened was, and of course she cried like she was a victim. And that's fine. That's cool. Because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I just went by a track record. Okay? I went by, that's what she was doing at the time. She went from being this whatever, I don't know what to call her, because she was toting the Bible one day, and then we seen her again, and she was totally different, and she was like the biggest you-know-what on campus. And then said, they took advantage of her. She took advantage of herself, and she knew better, but she wanted more what? Because I'm going to tell you, when you following the Lord, you are not going to have a whole bunch of friends. It says it in the Bible. I haven't seen you in a while, but I missed you because you're so real and genuine. Thank you. Okay? You're not going to be popular when you following God. I don't know who needs to tell you that. I don't know who needs to hear that. Jesus had how many disciples, y'all? Let me see if anybody in here listening to old Jenna. How many disciples did Jesus have? Of course, because of the video, eventually I'm going to have to say it because it's a point I'm trying to make. But he had 12. 12. And guess what? Out of them 12, one of them turned on him. What was his name? Really, what was his name? I forgot it. What was his name? What was his name, babe? Judas. Judas was a disciple? He had 12 disciples. You know what that tells me? I'm not going to expect a whole bunch of people to follow me. Yeah. I don't know what the verse is, but it says, wide is the road of destruction and narrow is the road to destiny, right? Narrow is the road to godliness or whatever. This is a very tight road to follow. It is not easy. That's why it's not too many people who are going to make it in. I hate to tell you that. Isn't that terrible, babe? It's not going to be too many that's going to make it in, y'all. It's looking grim.
And it shows actually why, too. It actually says why.
Yeah.
It talks about the seeds and the different conditions of the seeds.
Right. And the thing about it is this, guys. This is a word that just came to me. Let me hurry up and get it out. Because I'm 42 years old and sometimes the devil likes to snatch my thoughts. It's called dementia. And I freaking bind that dementia spirit up in Jesus' name. Dementia is the most nastiest disease ever. They don't even talk about it. It is horrible. But this is what happens to people, right? People get too much involved in wanting to please the flesh. And they completely forget that this is temporary. Why are you doing all of this devilish stuff for a flesh that gets old, weak, and it decays? Why? This is not the final destination. You doing stuff out there, getting money, getting this, getting that, and you ain't even thinking that, honey, don't you know that there's another place we go after here? So you gonna do this stuff for a temporary situation just to eternally? That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So, just be careful. Be careful out here and things like that. I say, you know what? I don't care who watching me at this point. Sometimes we get beat up in the flesh so bad, in the spirit so bad, that you like, Lord, my hands are up. You ask God to sit here and change you. Do you understand that you about to go through something? You about to go through a change. That's why they say be careful what you wish for, ask for. Don't ever ask for patience, y'all. I think it says that in the Bible too. Don't ever ask for patience. Because to be asking for patience means to be tested. But we all gotta be tested and we all gotta be patient. But nobody is born patient. And how do you know that? Find me a child that's patient. A child wants what it wants when it wants it right then and there. I was talking to my therapist a few days ago and I told her some things that I had said below my breath, which I will not say. Actually, I will say it. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Because somebody in here needs to hear what I said so they can be careful on what they say. God said, okay, so this is what happened. A few days ago, look, my darn appointment was not until 2 weeks from now, okay? But my therapist forced a darn early appointment. I allowed her to do it because I felt God wanted me to get a message. I told her, I said, look, Doc, I don't see you for 2 weeks. She completely ignored it. She sent me the darn teleprompter so we could, because we meet over the phone. I said, okay, God, I'm going to go ahead and be obedient. And so I went on and I did it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about my childhood because I said, I got some things going on, honey. When you ask God for a change, you're going to go through all kinds of stuff, all right? So when I was 13 years old, 12 or 13, my mom had come home. And she had, had a very tough time, okay? She was a single mother. She was working. I was a child. I wanted her attention. And she aggravated me by just being on the phone and just completely ignoring me. She went to her room. She was probably tired. She probably didn't feel well. I'm a grown woman now, so I can actually kind of say that, I can understand. When you're tired and you have to work, you don't have the mental capacity to be a mom because you got to work. And so that day, under my breath, I said some things that I shouldn't have said. It was not to her ears, but apparently the spirits heard me, and God heard me. Even though I don't feel like what I said made her pass away, but it did happen within 3 months. And I was telling my darn therapist, I said, I know that it was not my fault, but I also know that words have life. Okay? And so you have to be careful of what you say out of your mouth. That was the point of that story. Be careful of what you say because it can happen. It will happen because power is in the words that we say. So if you say, God, change me, deliver me, make me a new creature. If you say those words, just know you about to go through some things. He gonna be there for you. He gonna get you through it, but it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna go through some things that's gonna change you. That's gonna make you never want to look back to that old you. You're gonna be tired. That part of you is going to pass away. That's what I heard a message yesterday. Somebody said that for you to be reborn, the old you has to pass away. Just like Jesus, he was resurrected, but he had to go through some things. And so when we follow him and when we do his will, we do God's will, we're going to have to go through some things too. So I had a few people come on my video just yesterday when I did a video, guys. Check it out. And they said, oh, well, you used to be this, and this, and you used to be rude. I'm blah, blah, blah. Honey, you don't know what I was going through at that time. That time when I first started making videos, I was a caregiver. I was a salon owner. I was a wife. I was all over the flipping place. I was surrounded by a whole bunch of things. I was in the service business. Then I had to be a servant for my parent. And I had to be there. And I had to do this. And I had to be a salesperson. I had to get clients. I had to pay bills. I had so much going on at that time. So when I got on social media and started making videos, I Honey, I didn't give a darn who these people were, because you weren't in my room. I was just like, look, I'm here to just do this, this, and this. Bye. That's the type of vibe, because that was the only thing in my life at the time was that I felt like I had control over, and that was my social media, my videos. So I was very controlling. I was very, brash, because what was going on during my life at the time was not easy. And so I still had to operate, and that was the best way I could operate at the time. And so I say this to say, anybody who's going through something, or you had that same flashback of yourself 5 years ago, and somebody says, oh yeah, you used to be this way and this way. Just know within yourself, well, I was a different person back then. So yeah, be careful when you try to, tell somebody, or try to, talk about them and say, look, yeah, you saying all this, but just a few years ago, a few months ago, you were here. Well, we change every day. You don't know what prayers someone did. Like that Mary said, you don't know how much they prayed. You don't know how much somebody got on their knees and prayed and said, God, change me. God, reveal things to me. If you're going to ask God to reveal them, be ready for him to reveal them. Jiggle that thing, babe. That's all I'm saying. These words that's coming out of my mouth is life. Somebody's actually getting saved today. Somebody's actually being helped today, being therapized, being motivated. I know, because these are powerful words. They coming from me. And I didn't know. I didn't know one day I would be talking to somebody and talking to people and talking about God. I didn't know that. But I had to go through some things. And he had to tell me, honey, you don't have nothing to talk about because you don't know the word. Babe.
I'm doing it.
Okay? I had to go and I had to read the word. I'm to the point now, if I don't read my chapter in the Bible, which I'm now on Numbers, I don't feel right. That's when you know, oh, you on another level. I love this. I'm truly getting down. I know that's right. Yeah, y'all need to get down to Jesus. I know that's right. They telling us to get down with everything else. Get down with Jesus. Right. And so that's why I'm a better person now. Not because, holistic practitioner. Yeah, that's where it started. But now God got me into the word. So the thing about it is, I got much more to say now. And it has more focus and base. Hello. That's what it's about, guys. Get yourself right. And keep going. And be prepared. Somebody here now probably wants a baby, right? Or wants whatever, right? You can't ask God to say give you a baby and then don't prepare for it, sis. Right? You can't ask God to say, give me some transportation, give me a car, and not prepare for it. Oh Lord, please send me a good man, and not prepare for it. Right? Are you asking for empty things? Anything you want, expect it. That's the problem. It's called faith. Okay? So anything that you want him to do and want him to open, he'll do it, but be prepared for it. If you want that baby, start getting yourself prepared for it. Start thinking as such. Thinking as if it's going to be. If you want that new job, start thinking about it. Start doing things for it. Start buying clothes, if you can. Get some outfits and things like that. Even if you want that baby, buy a little baby outfit. Yeah, that's what you do. Start focusing on it, because when he opens that door, you don't want to feel like you're not ready. He wants you to be ready, because God's not going to give you anything that you they say not handle, but then he's not going to give you anything that you're not ready for. You get what I'm saying? That's how you got to know the power of discernment. Who is giving you what? Be careful. Ask God to cover your mind and your thoughts and your wants. Cover your mind and your thoughts and your wants. Why? Because there's somebody else out here. There's a story out here called the X-Men, right? I used to love X-Men. I still do. I just seen them all, and they don't make anymore. But I still do, and I'm able to kind of understand these two characters, right? So there was Magneto, and then there was Xavier. Xavier was for the good, Magneto was for the bad. But Magneto had a power. His power was, hold on. Oh, his Xavier had a power of reading people's minds, which is devilish, guys. Because the only person who knows your mind and your thoughts is God, right? Nobody else knows your mind and thoughts, but the enemy does too. He knows it too. And so what Magneto would do to protect Xavier, protect his mind from Xavier, protect him from being, his thoughts being read, is he would wear this little silly hat. All right, where am I going with this? Remember I just said, ask God to protect your mind and your spirit. Your mind, your thoughts, and everything, and your wants. Protect them where nobody can know about them. And you know how you do that? The Bible, the Word. So yes, the Word is your protection. When you get into that Word, that is your protection. So when the devil try to get into your head and try to see what you want and and see what you need and try to block that, the Word is going to tell you what to do so you will not fall to the okie doke. You ever thought, I'm walking around here and I don't know what to do? It's because you're not in the Word. Have your protection. And that's your true protection. Not no darn prophylactics. Not no darn coat. Not no darn house. Your true protection is the Word. Because without the Word, you'll fall for anything and do anything. That's the end of my message right now, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. I'm not going to call them out. You already know the deal. Leave us a comment. Put a thumbs up. And if this actually was good for you, put up a number 1.